it's always a good sign, right? Before you go live, your AV guy goes, "Oh, I screwed that up. You're live."
Yeah, you're. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Start talking about stuff.
Stuff and things and things.
Welcome
and
to Live at the Range.
Yes. Regular Wednesday.
I'll tell you what, dude. I'm just not catching up. It's just like this 2 o'clock got here in like 10 minutes. It seems like.
Yeah, well, it's my first day of the week, so. Yeah, tell me.
Part timer, yeah. Why? Now I know why I'm doing the show. I get to sit next to Mr. Sicky Monster.
Yeah. Hey, once every 6 to 8 years ain't that bad. And
so were you chasing the porcelain dragon? And
I was literally just curled up on the floor trying to figure out which way to point. It was bad.
Speaking of which way to point, we're going to talk about that later in the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So stay tuned. You don't want to miss that.
Jeez. Yeah.
Seriously, it's one of the best stories I've heard in a long time.
Well, yeah. I mean,
we got two really good ones
today. I did leave out the one on the guy suing his parents for
no, like turds. Speaking of turds. Hey, we're still back on the bathroom thing.
Is that worse than dad jokes?
Yeah.
That was
worse than dad jokes.
So anyway, let's talk. We got some cool stuff to talk about. That we do. We need to spend some time on. We're going to need your feedback on it. You're going to have questions. We want to see your comments. But let's just talk first about that bad boy sitting right there.
This right here, Walther. Walther is doing a sweet deal. This is their PPQ 45. So it's the big boy. But Walther's doing a new deal right now through June. You basically have 30 days to decide that you love your Walther, or send it back to Walther and they'll pay you everything you spent on it.
Including shipping to send the gun back.
Yeah. So their new thing is, what is it? Shoot it, love it, something.
Yeah.
But basically
I think they call it the love it or return it program, something like that.
Yeah. So there's two different ways. The site's a little confusing. We were having a couple of us were going back and forth on how exactly they want this thing to run. But basically, with any Walther PPQ purchase, whether you come in, buy it in the store, or go to the online store, order whichever one you want, yes, including the Q5 match and the Q5
really
steel.
Hope they show up one of these days.
So at some point, we were told, end of February, March, they would be shipping the next batch, so hopefully those things will be coming out soon.
Yep.
But even on the regular Q5s, all the PPQ lines, buy a gun. If you don't love it within your first 30 days, send it back to Walther, and they will give you everything that you spent on it.
Yep.
So
check
really
out their
cool
website.
deal through PPQ through Walther on their PPQ line, and
it's a nice pistol.
It's an awesome
nice
pistol. They got some of the best, if not the best, polymer triggers. I mean, we got
Walther for me, the grip angle and the grip are the two things that I like about the gun probably the most. The trigger's nice.
It fits like every hand.
Yeah, but I don't get slide bite with those like I do with my Gen 3 Glock.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a great big beaver tail on the back.
Yeah.
The Q5 the match steel one has an even bigger beaver tail. Man, we had such a blast shooting next.
So definitely check that out. Walther's buy it. I think they call it the love it or return it.
Return it, something like that. So yeah, it's an awesome deal. Friday at 3 o'clock, Gabby Franco is going live. So you can actually get to that just by going to our website, click on the shop online, and there'll be a banner ad for the Walther. Click on that, it'll bring you right over to the site. Again, it's 3 o'clock on Friday. Gabby Franco is going to go through the Walther lineup and then really go into detail about how to take advantage of the deal. Okay. They do have an option where you can go on and get a voucher, and you give them like $1,000 and a hold, and you print out a voucher, come in, shoot retailers. There's none in Missouri.
This is the one that we can do for you, and it's. I tell you what, I've never seen a manufacturer do something like that. It's
I mean, it works for online purchases too. So you can buy any Walther online, and yes, we do have them on our store. So click on there, go over to the Walther line, see whatever you want, order it in. We'll have it in a couple of days, and then if you don't like it,
you got 30 days to figure it out.
So why not?
All right.
So we got outlaw match tomorrow.
Okay.
I think last I saw there was maybe 1 or 2 spots open. We may be running low on that, but that's always a thing that runs out.
Those are always a lot of fun. Yep.
We got basic handgun on Saturday, then again on Tuesday. And then we've got an IDPA qualifier on Monday night. So
are there still some spots available on the basic handgun for
Saturday and Tuesday? I think there's a couple of spots left in both of those.
Jump on those.
Amazingly.
Those have been selling out like crazy. Phil, Dustin, they all do a great job. But whether you've never run a gun or you've been running a gun for 20 years, you're going to learn something in this basic handgun class.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. So, and again, just to reiterate, you take a class from us, you want to retake it at any time, just call us. If there's a spot open in the class, you're in.
And it goes for any class. So
yep. We've had a couple of guys retake defensive handgun 1 so that they can qualify for 2.
3 retakes in my class last week, or this past week.
Yeah.
There's 3 people that said, you know what,
best deal going.
It may have been a little longer than I want, and I want to be proficient. So good on you. Absolutely. Proficiency. We're going to get into that on the training.
Okay.
So in the news,
dude, we talk about these things almost every week, but people have got to realize
it's like 40 something of them just in this month.
Yeah, carjackings are a real deal. I mean, you drive a car. Really anywhere in the country. I don't want it to sound like it's a St. Louis epidemic. This is going on all over the place. But these criminals have decided that it's easier to point a gun at you and take your car than break into it and steal
so it. Over the past few years, or the past number of years, the technology has really come around on cars where they're trying to make them harder to steal. The problem is it's harder to steal when you're not there. So you have things like your key fobs and your security alarms and so forth that shut the car down or don't allow it to start if that piece of the puzzle isn't there. So these criminals are turning around and they're figuring out, okay, well, if you're actually in the car, it's easier for me to then steal the car and I have all the components I need.
Everything's there. As long as you don't shut it off, or as long as you get the key fob and don't shut it up.
Right.
Shut it off. So here's let's do this one first. This happened literally across the street.
Literally.
At what, 5:30 in the morning, something like that?
Yeah.
Guy jumped out of his car, ran into the Quick Trip to get something to drink, get a cup of coffee, came back out and watched his car drive out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Don't leave your car running.
So the guy ran out there, he tried to jump in there.
And this literally, I mean,
I guess run over slightly in the guy taking off. Guy took off, gets in an accident on 141 and Manchester, totaled the car, tried to run away. Manchester PD grabbed him, turned it back over to Baldwin. So
I hope that was Gibbs that
good on you guys.
Any of them that caught him.
Right. So good on the boys.
So don't leave your car running. Don't even say I'm just going to be inside for 30 seconds. Don't even get out of your car and lock it with the car running and go inside. It's now a super easy target. Yeah. Don't do it. I like the 5-second rule when I go to any of these places. I pull up, I park, shut the car off, and I take 5 seconds just to look around, make sure nobody's waiting for me to get out of my car.
Yeah.
Get out of my car, lock it, head to the front door. Before I open the door to the establishment, I take a few seconds and just look, make sure I don't see anybody standing there doing this, and before I go in the door, because I don't want to walk into something crazy. Yeah. And then when I leave, I take 5 seconds, head into the car, making sure that nobody's standing around waiting to intercept me at that point. So those are good things just to keep in mind.
Pat McNamara was just talking about that this weekend. I saw a video on him talking about the same thing. Pull up. Walmart's a big place for it too.
Ron is almost like Pat McNamara. Very close.
Probably not.
No, not at all.
No.
Do you know who Pat McNamara is?
He's got to be an ugly guy.
He's a mean bastard.
Dude, he is.
He's probably going to hunt me down now.
He would not.
He knows his
time. Like he has more important things to do, but he is definitely one of the extreme trainers for those that are really looking to
he's
combat
legit.
style, very combat focused mindset. Like really a bunch of really awesome stuff, but he was just talking about that.
So as long as we're talking about carjackings across the street, let's talk about the one that was literally a mile from us at the Uncle Bill's Pancake Shop.
Yeah, Uncle Bill's Pancakes. So Craigslist meetup, be careful who you buy from.
So he did a smart thing, right? Let's do it in a public place.
Yeah.
Uncle Bill's parking lot's always packed.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's always packed.
That
it's 24 hours, so it makes a lot of sense for it to be a choice. It's in a central location. I mean, couple of our employees here used to use that as a meetup place. So it makes sense. So the guy gets there, he's gonna buy a cell phone, and 3 suspects jump out. One has a gun, attacked the victim. Then one of the other suspects stole the car. That's when he called the police. So Manchester had said that the guy's described as a 28 to 29-year-old man with dreadlocks past his shoulder. The other 2 suspects had most of their faces covered, so they don't really have a whole lot of info on them. I mean, that's literally right in the middle of the wide open.
Yeah, well, and the police identified the car heading south on 141, gave pursuit down to 44. The guy got into a parking lot of one of the hotels down there, got out of the car, and actually got away. They did recover the car, but it's got damage to it, you know, because they drive them like they stole them because they did.
They did.
So, you know, I don't like to go. My wife has sold a couple of things online like that. We never go by ourselves to do any of those transactions. You know, if you sell something online, meet in a public place. Uncle Bill's, I don't see anything wrong with that. Don't be alone, and you just have to be prepared for something bad to happen. Now, there are other things to consider here. I mean, if the bad guy's got the drop on you, the bad guy's got the drop on you, right? I don't have a problem with complying. I don't have a problem giving him my car, but this next one bothers me a little bit.
Yeah.
That took place in the Schnucks parking lot yesterday.
Yeah, that's one that's definitely, I think, has some of the most red flags on it. So. Yeah.
And this is 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 11 o'clock in the morning. So nice and
lot.
early on a Sunday in the Schnucks parking lot.
No, I think this was just yesterday, wasn't it?
Or yeah, it was Tuesday. Tuesday. So
I mean,
yeah, Tuesday afternoon. Obviously, it's middle.
11 a.m. is morning.
Morning, whatever.
You need to hydrate.
Yeah.
Get that brain pan working.
So man and woman in their 60s. She's in the driver's seat. He's putting groceries in the back of the car. When I guess the suspect came up on him, put a gun to there, boom. And so the woman gets out of the driver's seat. Suspect jumps in the car, starts to drive away. Big problem. The male guy was armed, had a CCW, and he shot at least one shot at the vehicle as it was driving away.
That's what we think. I mean, if the driver if he thought the driver was trying to hit him or his wife, you know, that's absolutely defensible. But
information's still not quite out there yet on that, but I mean, it's just happened.
If they've got your stuff, they're gone. I mean, I know I would be pissed. I would be like, I want a piece of that guy, but you got to control that. If your life's no longer in danger, if your wife's life is not in danger, you got to let that thing just happen. And call the cops and go from there. But literally putting groceries in the back of your car.
And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that moment of opportunity
when you're not
to jump on that. And the same thing. I mean, this is a case, they've got the keys now.
Yep.
So they can bypass any security measures there. Clearly, she already had the vehicle started. Doors were wide open. People are still in the middle. I mean, it's a hectic moment. And if they jump in and bum rush you, like, what are you going to think?
Yeah, we always talk about situational awareness because it gives you time to react to things.
Right.
Making eye contact, trying to judge their intention based on their body language, what they're wearing. You know, if somebody's walking down and it's 50 degrees out and their face is all covered up, I'm going to pay more attention to that guy, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense? If I'm putting groceries in a car and a guy walks across the lane to get onto my side of the lane for no apparent reason, I'm paying attention to that guy. But it also just draws again, he waited to the fact that the perp waited for him to be distracted doing something else so that he could close that distance.
Right.
And again, if a guy's on top of you and he's got his gun out, you cannot draw on a drawn gun. You have to, we've talked about this in our defensive classes, you see it talked about a lot, but you have to look for an opportunity to what I would call a counter ambush. You're going to have to comply, pay attention, and look for your opportunity if it presents itself.
Yeah.
Now, if he starts shooting me, the gun's coming out for sure, right? If I can. But you just have to be smart. Just because you've got that firearm on you doesn't mean you're safe.
No, it's not a fortress or a force field around you
that's exactly
that
right.
says that it can't happen to me. But you do need to be paying attention to what is going on, and at what point do you have to stop? And when the car is driving away, you're no longer in danger.
They won. They've
won. You cannot draw a gun and fire on someone in defense of property.
Now, if he was driving away and did one of these as he was driving away with that gun,
that's
right? That's
absolutely
different. That's different.
If there's a reason that you're still in fear for your life, well, that's
exactly
in fear for your life. But we don't really have a whole lot of information, and unlike some of these other cases here recently, we don't want to jump to too many conclusions before we find out the details.
I think another thing just to remember, these crimes don't happen in the dark in an alley anymore.
No,
they're happening in the middle of the day, occupied places, and you just have to be vigilant all the time.
Yeah, and don't stop what you're doing. Just do what you're doing in a smarter method. Pay attention to what's around you.
Well said.
And really, you have to have that situational awareness. We talk about that a lot, but you got to kind of have an idea of what's going on around you and what could happen, and have a plan for what could happen.
See, that's a really good point, because I do that when I'm out and about. It doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying myself or paying attention to my wife talking to me or the kids playing or any of that stuff or the grandkids, but we go into a restaurant and sit down and I'm like, all right, there's one exit, there's another exit, there's cover, there's concealment, my back's not to the door.
We had a lot of fun playing games with Ron.
That was terrible.
In Vegas.
Who can make sure Ron's back is to the door?
Yeah, that was,
so
I hated
SHOT Show,
that
you've
game.
got everybody who is in, well,
they're all good guys,
massive amount of
right?
people that
That's what
are
you think?
in the 2A community that are all gathered around, and so generally speaking, pretty much anywhere you go, there's going to be at least a dozen or more people that are into the Second Amendment
you had the best
so
analogy
forth.
for this, because we're joking around. We're like, well, what if there's an active shooter at the gun show? What if somebody shows up and wants to show us how gun laws are bad and they're going to kill a bunch of gun? You were brilliant.
And I'm going to peek my head out and watch the tactics, because there's way more people that are way more talented than I am that are going to be doing, and I just want to see what are they doing.
Working in on that guy.
How do I recreate that? Because those guys have a better plan than I do, and more skills than I do. I am not ashamed to say that. They have been there and done that. But when you get when you get 4 or 5 of us that are all like-minded going into a restaurant, and you're seeing who's going to win the silent argument of my back's going to be in this
because
direction.
Not only is your back to the door now, you become cover and concealment for the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Which is why you go to the...
Which is why I'm always with my back to the door. I am the biggest barrier we've got.
Right. So.
But the point's valid.
Yeah.
Be aware, have a plan, be aware of what's around you that you can use, place, to your benefit.
Yes.
All
What'd
the
be
time.
great is if somebody had like an anti-carjacking seminar that they did in class.
Yeah, we do those.
Let's not.
We do those.
There's
We do those. So
there's that place that
see,
place
that
in
carjacking.
Bowling that does it.
Yeah,
I think
the chicken ranch, the range.
the range.
Hey, when we first opened, speaking of chicken ranch, when we first opened, it was October, November. Literally, we'd been open for a week, and I was leaving work at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and an older couple pulled in and rolled the window down, and the guy goes, "Is this a chicken restaurant?" I said, "No,
Chicken
it's
restaurant.
a shooting range." Seriously, he said, "Is that a chicken restaurant?" Oh, we were looking for a place to eat. We thought there was a new restaurant around. Anyway.
Although, if we did have we could get like one of them chicken finger
If we had
places.
fried chicken here, I've got fried chicken and guns. I don't have to go home.
We need waffles.
Oh, stop.
Chicken and
Stop.
waffles and guns?
All right.
Bacon.
It's all funny
And
games
bacon
you make
for
them
you.
swear up on your gun.
Okay,
Yeah.
so be aware.
Yep.
So an easy
Have
thing,
a plan.
if you're at your car in the parking lot, for example, and a guy's making you I'm not going to be able to see anything
Now we
anymore.
can't see.
Somebody's making you uncomfortable with their body language, they're paying attention to you. The car is a great tool. Not for just getting in and driving away, but you see somebody that starts to approach you, work your way around the car. Use the car as a barrier between the two of you. If they can't get right up on you, their chances of doing something bad to you go way, way down. So just another thing to be aware of.
Yes.
All right, I want to talk about
the bomb threat.
The bomb threat.
Bomb threat in Home Depot.
Home Depot. This one, pay attention to this one.
Yeah. So officers were called to a home improvement store in Wichita at 12:15 after an employee reported a bomb threat.
And good for them for being aware and listening, protecting.
So
I'm not going to make
said,
it through this section.
No.
I'm not going to make it.
The customer said he overheard another man say, and quote, "You all need to get out of here because I'm fixing to blow it up," the newspaper reported.
But what room was he in when he said that?
So the police later identified the man, and he was like, "I didn't realize it was going to be taken that extreme. There was another person that understand the joke. It was just a polite warning to other patrons because he was in the bathroom."
I guarantee I'm related to that guy somehow.
So he was trying to be a nice guy, saying, "Hey,
y'all better get out of here because I'm fixing to blow this place up."
I've never seen Ron laugh.
Oh, it's painful.
I mean, good on you. If you see
what's
something,
sad?
say something.
What's
If you
sad
hear
is-
something, say something. But guys, in the bathroom.
If I was in the bathroom and heard somebody say that, I would have known exactly what he meant.
And other people that were in the bathroom did. They were laughing. And yet somebody mistook that somehow for a bomb threat. Like,
Well,
what?
a bomb's a bomb.
I mean, a bomb's a bomb, yeah,
was
but a stink bomb. Can you imagine? K9 comes charging in.
Dog takes off yelping.
And just yelping, running away.
He did drop a bomb in there.
Oh.
All right.
So
anyway,
sometimes
you're gonna,
the news isn't all bad.
Yeah. So my suggestion would
By
be.
the way, Home Depot is not pressing charges.
Yeah, good for
now.
them. Yeah, it was probably one of their guys. He probably had an orange apron on. My suggestion would be come up with another phrase. I'm launching the Seawolf or dropping the kids off at the pool. Something other than I'm going to blow this place up.
Yeah, I don't know.
This episode we're going to get flunked on. They're going to pull our
fixing
internet
to blow
card.
it up. It kind of sounds pretty relevant.
Just skipped on Facebook.
All right. I love that. I friggin' you read that this morning. I was chuckling for like an hour and a half.
I found some good articles today. But there was quite a few.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
that was probably one of my favorites.
All right. You want me to rant?
So we're buzzing along the rant. Yes, there is a name to the shooter, but we're not going to say his name. Period. Because I don't want to give him any glorification.
So my
for
rant
being
is
stupid, but let's talk about it.
Is the fact that there are a lot of people out there saying that the government is going to protect us and the government's going to take care of us and we need more government and they flat out failed these 5 poor souls in Illinois. 5 men.
Clayton Parks was a human resources manager. Trevor Weiner was another human resources intern.
First day
student
on the job.
at Northern Illinois University. It may have been his first day on the job. I think
was.
the police.
I verified. First day on the job.
The public announcer or whatever you call
Public
it, the public
relations
officer. It was also his first day on the job. Russell Breyer was a mold operator. Vincent Juarez was a stockroom attendant and a forklift operator, and Josh Pinkard was a plant manager. So I do want to say our thoughts go out to those families, those 5 guys. They did not deserve this.
They were let down. Here's the story on this dirtbag. He's an Illinois resident, and what he did was they called him into this meeting, I guess, first thing in the morning, and terminated his employment. And as soon as that happened, he produced a firearm and killed him.
Right.
That's what happened at work. I'm going to back up several years here. The guy in 2016 applied for an 2014. applied for an Illinois FOID card, and was approved. Now, if you're an Illinois resident, you understand this, but for those that don't, in order to even go into a gun store and look at a gun or go to a range and shoot, you have to have what Illinois calls their firearm owner's identification card, which means they've approved, they say that you're a good enough guy that you can touch a firearm.
They're giving you permission to exercise a right
to touch your firearm, all right? And there's supposedly they do a background check when they do that. Supposedly. Here's where we're going to with this. After he gets his FOID card, he goes to an Illinois gun store and purchases a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson handgun, completes a 4473, waits the 7-day waiting period, which is required in Illinois, and it passes and is approved to take his firearm, to purchase the firearm. So he buys a 40 caliber handgun.
Which is a flag that I have right there. Stay tuned for
40
that.
caliber?
Well, this is in 2014, so he was going for the bigger is better, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is he did pass the background check. That's my red flag number one.
He passes the background check, and he's passed a FOID card background check for Illinois.
So I guess that would be 2.
He's passed 2 background checks. He then...
In Illinois. With the most strict gun control measures.
Yep. So then he goes a week or 2 later and he applies for a CCW permit. They fingerprint him and run another background check, and guess what they find out?
He's got a conviction
Guy's
from
a felon.
95.
He's a felon from the state of Mississippi.
For aggravated assault.
So they know he's got a gun because he's got the FOID card, he did the background, did all that stuff. They know he's applied for a CCW permit. So the state, in their wisdom, denies his CCW permit, revoke his FOID card, and then ask him politely to return the firearm.
Now they went to his house though, right?
No record they ever went to this guy's house to retrieve this firearm.
Well, they must have called him, and they were forceful about getting it back though, right?
No record, any contact was ever attempted with him about that firearm.
So you're saying that they sent one letter, and that was it?
That's what it looks like.
One letter.
What it looks like.
To tell an aggravated assault felon that he had to turn in his gun that
he passed 2 background checks on and was approved on. So, first of all, we are not I'm not telling you it's okay for a felon to have a gun. That's not what we're saying at all. We're totally against that. But what we are saying is this false narrative that that having to wait 7 days and get all these things done is going to protect more people is just sickening. I'm tired of it. It's an untruth. It's a lie. The only people that are affected by that are the law-abiding citizens. And it's time to just, instead of trying to alter the facts or ignore the facts so that they support our position or narrative, let's pay attention to the facts. Where were 98% of the mass shootings, where did they take place?
Gun-free zones.
Gun-free zones.
Yeah.
Okay.
By people who obtain their gun legally.
Name a couple of cities that have extremely high gun crime rates.
Those also that have
Chicago.
the highest gun control
Highest gun control rates. Gun laws punishing law-abiding citizens don't stop criminals from being criminals.
No, it gives them free rein.
Period.
It gives
this
them free
guy
rein.
Flat out lied on his 4473 form.
Oh, he lied obviously on his FOID card form.
Yep, lied on all.
On his 4473 and on his CCW.
Yeah, so don't tell me, my rant is don't tell me that more gun laws are going to make me safer.
Right. I mean, this is the same kind of thing. So California is now implemented. We talked about this last week. California's now implemented their red flag gun laws, where they're going to go and take these things back. And
somebody better sue them.
So San Francisco was the San Francisco Chronicle. Good on them for calling it out, sorta. I don't necessarily want to give them a lot of credit, but they did bring up the fact. So in 2014, right after the Sandy Hook shooting, they dedicated $26 million to go and take, at that time, 20,000 guns
that they knew
back.
about. Guns they
20,000 guns they knew were in the hands of people that should not have guns because they had. Now again, to back up, everybody should be able to have a gun until you prove that you can't have a gun. Right? Like, everything's hunky-dory as long as you're a law-abiding citizen. When you break the laws, that's when you can't have guns anymore. So 20,000 people that had broken laws and had their ability of carrying a firearm taken away from them.
Not having a firearm.
wrongfully taken away. These are people that were felons that had guns.
Shouldn't have a gun.
The government knew, or at least California knew they had.
So that was
20,000,
4 years ago?
26,000, and we were
How many
supposed to
guns
have
have they
all
recovered?
20,000 after 3 years. 6 years later, they've collected 11,000. And they can't
Government
get
works.
anybody to
More
take the
getting more
job
government.
because they're paying on average 20% under local forces. So you're going to go and you're going to sign up for a job that you're going to kick doors in and take guns back from people.
You're going to tell me to go unarmed and armed felon. Yeah, I'll do something else.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. So they're having a problem. They had to give like $6 million back because they couldn't prove that they were able to use it. They allotted them another $5 million to try and make it happen. It's still not happening.
Bad deal.
You now have more people that are running into problems, not because they've committed an actual crime, but that the government now has added new laws. And so we're now spending time chasing people that are building 80% receivers who have done no criminal acts. They're just building themselves a firearm at home. You got man hours and cost being spent on that, as opposed to going and trying to get the other 9,000 guns they already know actual felons have.
And they're even spending time. You mentioned the red flag laws that have gone into effect. All it takes is for somebody to just say, that person scares me, he's a threat to me, or I think he's a threat to himself. They can come get your guns.
Yeah, and they're spending time doing that, as opposed to going after the people that have committed actual crimes and have somehow found a way to get a gun. Like, the problem is not that we don't have enough gun laws. The problem is we're not enforcing the gun laws that are already there. Seems to be a big problem in the U.S. right now. In my opinion, is that we're attempting to push more on to let's make another law for it. Let's make another law for it instead of fixing the actual problem.
That's exactly right. They want to blame that gun for being the problem. The gun is not the problem.
Yeah, and there's even some of these liberal sources and these wrong-sided sources, in my opinions at least, that are talking about how this guy went out and bought a firearm to commit these crimes. Well, I don't know. I'm having a little bit of problem with it because he went through the effort in 2014 to get the gun. It's 2019.
Yeah.
Nothing seems to have happened to this individual over those 5 years. I'm not saying that he should have been able to have the gun because he'd gone 5 years and it took 5 years of getting fired, but nonetheless,
they paint the facts to fit their
painting the
narrative.
picture is wrong. Like, we've got laws on the books.
Right.
Let's go after
Be
those.
smart, be
with what we
vigilant,
already
call your
have.
congressman, vote,
Yeah.
keep America great.
And hero.
I want to read this one thing real quick from Brian about the red flag gun laws.
Okay.
You got a mic?
He said there have been several abuses that resulted in killings from red flag laws already, including a man in Maryland who thinks, who was later found, after he was dead of course, that his cousin called in the warning that initiated a red flag procedure as a means of reprisal in an ongoing argument.
So you had a family feud.
I don't know if everybody heard that or not, but there are a number of deaths that have been attributed to these red flag laws that are false claims.
Yeah.
He named one from
Family
Maryland where it
feud.
was a family feud. The guys went in, kick in his door and end up killing the guy. And it turns out his cousin turned him in, said that he was a threat, and because they were having a family argument between the two of them. Red law.
You can't give people that kind of power when.
Well, you're taking due process away from the citizen.
Yeah.
Where is my innocent until proven guilty? Where's my opportunity to face my accuser? Doesn't exist.
Yeah. Let's just take that away. Take it away.
And in these states, when they get your guns, you're.
No guns really. I mean,
If
as
you win
bad
that-
as bad as these mass shootings are,
horrible.
they're not really in the vast volumes that people are trying to make it out to be. More people die per day from spoons and they're force feeding people to eat too much food than with gun deaths. There's
texting and driving is killing more people than guns are. But you don't want to talk about that because you can play Candy Crush on your phone while you're driving. Did we tell you we saw a guy driving down the road? I saw a guy driving down the road actually playing a friggin' game on his phone on Manchester Road.
Yeah.
While he's driving. What do you got?
All right, so here's a little pulled. So The 33,000 who died in 2016, and this pretty much goes every year. There's 33,000 people that died from gun deaths. 23, just under 23,000 of those, 33,000, so 2/3 were due to suicide. 14,000 were homicides, and 71 of them died in mass shootings. It leaves 1,300 other, and the other is going to be also accidental deaths and wartime casualties and accidents. Accidents, or unfortunately us being in a situation nationally where we're putting people in harm's way.
One person in a mass shooting is too many. But again,
absolutely.
But
if, like you pointed out, the mass shootings were not able to happen in gun-free zones, you'd have a lot more where it stopped. And I think there was and don't quote me on the percentage, but I think it was like 96% of all shootings involved with a CCW holder actually end up resulting in no crimes. So,
well, and that's an interesting, there's also lots of statistics out there that point to the fact that some of these killings were not classified as mass shootings because there was a person armed there that confronted the shooter. So instead of killing 13 people, he may have gotten 1 round off or 2 rounds off before they were put down. So
it also doesn't include, it's lumping them all in with the gang violence and so forth.
So anyway, there's my rant. Don't tell me government can fix it because they haven't fixed anything yet.
Yeah, we have laws. We just want the laws to be enforced.
So let's talk about something cool.
So
this one is really awesome.
In the opposite, you got a 79-year young grandma, and I'm calling her young because
she's spry.
This woman,
do you have some audio from that?
Yeah, there's some video out there, some audio from the 911 call and everything. But in Jackson County, Georgia, a 79-year-old grandma held off a burglar
who made repeated attempts to get into the house.
So she comes back from wherever she was at, goes to get in the house. This guy's trying to get in. He's trying to get in through the back door. She's yelling at him things like, I'm gonna blow your brains out, or come on in, I got something for you.
You know what though?
He's trying to break in. She shoots at him through the back door, and she's on the phone with 911 praying for
That's what was so awesome to me, was that, what one of my favorite quotes is by John Wayne. It's that courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway, right? So she's on the phone with 911. Please hurry, I'm so scared. And then you hear her put the phone down and go, come on in here, I got something for you. The bad guy. I'm like, that's friggin' awesome.
So she shoots one time out, I guess, the back door, and it gets him to stop trying to break in there. So he runs around the side of the house and goes up to the upper deck and breaks into her house upstairs. So she's again, and so she's on the phone. I'm scared. Please hurry. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna blow your brains out.
I listened to the 911 call. It's 8 minutes long. That's how long it took for officers to get to the house.
Yeah. Oh, it was 10 minutes. 10 minutes that this 79-year young woman
So here's the
keeping these guys.
But here's the best part.
Right. She shoots a second round at him.
He's upstairs.
She just shoots up to the second floor, and this dude has a come to Jesus meeting real quick in his head, and he thinks, oh my God, she's literally going to kill me. And so he hides in a closet, waiting for the cops to show up. Oh yeah, Grandma, there you go.
High five, Grandma.
Right, so her daughter ends up saying, my mother's a very spiritual person. If she wanted to hit him, she could have hit him. She just wanted to keep him off of her. So that's great on you, and it's just another case.
The cops are hiding from their victim, not the cops.
The perpetrators.
The perp is hiding from their victim because the cops are going to be better to them than they are.
Yeah, good on you, Grandma. And it also goes to show you, just because you have a gun doesn't mean you're a cold-blooded killer. Because this woman
brother.
She did not want to shoot that man. She just wanted him to stop. So
done and done.
She's also on the record, and the daughter's on the record. Thank God that he did it to her, because she wasn't out to kill him. She didn't want to kill him. So
he's alive because she was nice.
Yeah, hopefully he gets some treatment. I guess he's got some.
If you're breaking into somebody's house, you got a problem already.
Yeah, he's definitely got issues. He's definitely got problems. So
anyway,
good on you, Grandma.
42 minutes.
Did you have something?
We talked about a lot of stuff today.
But you want me to give up my guns and trust the police to save the day, but it took them 9 minutes.
Yeah, it took them
nine minutes for the cops to get there, and they want
and you know those cops are doing everything they can to get there.
Yeah,
they're doing everything they can to get there. They just can't.
I mean, think about it. If you live somewhere like where I grew up, like from me to where.
Sam, you can't give long stories because we can't hear you.
Yes, they can. They always yell at me.
Well, Sam's point is, there are some people, like for us, we're right across the street from the police station. They'll be here in 2 minutes.
I grew up 25 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of people grow up in areas where police won't be there for half an hour.
Yeah.
So, anyway, good grandma, bad Illinois. And I hate saying that because I grew up in Illinois. I love the people over there.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois got some massive issues.
They got to get that figured out.
Yeah.
And the people, I'm sorry guys, but the governor you elected ain't going to take you in the right direction.
No, he's pushing, unfortunately,
I think
all the wrong ways.
A lot of people are going to move out of Illinois here. Anyway, I'm starting to politicize. Move to Missouri. We'll take it.
We have freedoms here right now.
Jake, our new
So
guy
far.
over here,
Yep. Jake, we got, and we need to have Jake come in maybe and say hi to everybody. We've got a new guy on staff, Jake Farmer. We call him State Farm because he wears khakis and he's hideous. If you get that, good on you. Great kid. Marine, worked security for Disney for a couple of years, knows his stuff, fits in really well here. You're going to come in and get to know him. Jake from State Farm, and he's hideous.
Yep.
But he can buy guns now.
Yeah.
Yes, he's got like freedoms and
Well,
stuff.
check this out. Not only he's lived in Illinois. He's lived in Missouri for a week now, and he's already got his RSO certification and his CCW class taken.
And I think pistol already set for purchase. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
he's rocking and rolling. Welcome to freedom.
Anyway,
welcome
come see us at the range. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. Check out our online store.
We got date night is still going on. Range package, the whole 9 yards, includes ammo, all that good stuff. $40 for regular people, is $25 for members. We have SIG days, early shout out next month, the 22nd and 23rd. Be here noon to close on Friday. Open to close on Saturday. We will have SIG reps here. We'll have pistols, rifles, silencers, optics, the whole 9 yards.
Special deals.
Free shoe sting on SIG stuff.
We're going to give away a gun, right?
We're going to give away a gun, an X5. Ooh. Yes.
Hey, call out Brian Tackenberg. Because
he's insulting your gun.
Yeah, he's insulting the Walther because he's a SIG fanatic.
Well, Brian.
Fanatic, whatever. Tell him he's got to come out for SIG days.
Come out for SIG days, Brian.
Yeah.
And tell us why the SIG is a better option than the Walther.
That's like telling people Chevys are better than Fords and Fords are better than Dodges.
Hey, you know what though? If he wants to argue that SIGs are better, well, that's wonderful, and he can be wrong, but give him an opportunity to be wrong. It's cool. I like it, Brian.
We love y'all.
I'm giving you trouble, but honestly, give us the reasons why the SIG is better than the Walther, and maybe we'll use your stuff for some of the promotions and earn you free tickets or something. Because there's tickets to win.
Got nothing to do. Come out and pew pew. We got
pew pew.
A lot of cool stuff going on. It's it's cold. It's nasty. Who wouldn't want to?
Yeah, there's some crap weather we're having.
Hey, and thanks to everybody on President's Day who came out and celebrated with us. What better way to celebrate President's Day than pew pew?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Right.
Speaking of that, we're going to leave on this note. So, I followed Hillary Clinton on Insta Twitter, Face, whatever that thing is. Wow. Just because I don't want to have a closed mind. So she makes a post. I can't even remember the specifics of it. Basically saying, why is this president calling for a national emergency? It's not a national emergency. And one of Fox's correspondents responded with, or who does he think he is, declaring a national emergency? And one of the Fox correspondents responded with, well, the people that can call for a national emergency are presidents. I thought that was a great response.
I like the meme with Bill and Hillary sitting next to each other, and Bill looks over at Hillary and says, "Happy President's Day," and she just looks at him and says, "Shut up, Bill."
That's better.
And on that note, we'll see you guys next week on another Live at the Range. Tune in tomorrow for Jeff's live.
Yep.
Be around 5 o'clock or so.
And
tune in
stuff.
Friday for Gabby Franco talking about the Walters stuff, and come by and hang out and talk fun stuff and guns.
See you next week.
See you guys.
You ready?
Done.
Ready. That means ready.